This
Oh
week,
no.
The Madness Table, episode 168. That's right, we're back again. We haven't been canceled yet, as far as I know. This is Andrew with Will, Sam, and Brendan, and this week we're brought to you by Mangione Pest Control.
Jesus
You know the seeds
Christ.
of rodents eating away at the fabric of your society, gnawing through the holes in the walls and making it drafty. Smells like late-stage capitalism in here. Mangione Pest Control will solve that problem real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you like the Madness Tables, like our partners at Mangione, you may enjoy some of the fine things we produce, like this podcast you're currently listening to. Maybe you want to chat it up with us. You can hop on down to our Discord, and Will can tell you exactly how he plans to make the rats squeal. I mean, get rid of them. Anyway, you can also find us on social media, where we will definitely post memes that are relevant to the D&D experience and are never left of center. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. If you're having a wonderful day and you want to invest in media that tells it like it is, you can hop on down to Ko-fi. That's coffee spelled K-O-F-I. That's the cool way. And drop us a coin or hop onto our Patreon, where we'll help you dismantle the patriarchy. See what I did there? That's the same Latin root. Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, the best thing you do to help us grow is to tell somebody about this podcast. Not an FBI agent. Definitely don't tell them. They already subscribe. Don't waste your efforts. Have a great day. And remember, if you got rats in the walls so you can't sleep at night anymore, there's only 3 answers for that problem. Call Mangione Pest Control. Just like that. Anyway,
Damn.
Will, take it away, man.
Thank you.
You're muted. I don't know how you did that.
He muted himself. That's crazy.
Wow. I thought I hit the button.
They're always, these termites are trying to silence us.
That's true.
Getting into
That's
our
true.
equipment.
It's all good, though, because big thanks to our number 1 listener, the FBI, always taking us seriously and listening into our beautiful content. They actually help us edit, if you couldn't tell, because none of this ever reaches the air. So last time, crazy shit happens, but it got a little weirder. Indigo has been sucked into his notebook as he seemingly falls unconscious. Scylla is in a ball of sadness, accompanied by a dead child and her screaming dead father. Lara visited the tower of Sekarak and is now flying away because she's like, what? And then Sephel also, after viciously, brutally murdering his oldest friend Sekarak, is T-pose, as he put it, falling out of his tower with Sekarak's staff and Vlad trying to kill him.
You sit upon a throne of lies.
I do. I absolutely do. And you know what? It's wonderful. So, where shall we begin? Sephel, you are cascading to the ground now, staff in hand. One of your oldest friends murdered, but a few floors above you. Vlad's breath, the remnants of it dissipating into the air, the crackle of the energy as you fall. What is going through your head? How are you going to stop your fall? And what is your next move?
So, some of these questions are easier to answer than others, my friend.
Okay.
What is going through Sephel's head is that he still doesn't know what is real and what is not. He's sort of in a mix of... Before it was just he wasn't believing anything, or he was distrustful of everything around him. Now he is in denial after going to the one person that he thought could make some sense out of the situation, who is now allegedly dead.
Oh, there's nothing alleged about that, baby. He done.
Yeah. Yeah, in your reality, in my reality, in whatever the fuck this weird soup is, all of my bad decisions have come from me playing chicken with this game of illusions.
Okay.
There's a part of me, there's a part of Sephel, either the desperate part or the needs to break out of this part, that doesn't want to stop his fall.
Okay.
So I'm contending with that. And you know what? Let's leave it up to chance.
Okay.
Leave it
What
up
are
to
our
DD.
odds?
Okay, let's say evens. He is going to use Sekarak's staff to cast the fly spell.
Okay.
And continue through the charade and try to find something
Charade.
else. Odds, he will take his chances with the ground in an attempt to wake himself
Okay.
from this reality.
Okay.
I don't know if the logic chain that you're following goes where you think it's going to go.
I mean, what's the max damage that I can take?
I mean, you're falling 300 feet.
20d6.
Yeah, but it bottoms out. It's 20d6.
Yeah.
I'm actually fully in support of this.
So, okay, so hold on.
Oh.
So max damage I can take is 120. Right? 20d6.
Unless you hit a spike.
Or
Sure.
rock.
Oh no.
It's falling damage, is falling damage.
I love that you're just like, you know what makes sense to me? Inception logic.
Nothing makes sense to me, and I want to keep it spicy.
I fully support you, Brendan.
You know that?
I
Thanks,
think this
Sam.
can only work in your favor.
Well, you know, you're flying, so hopefully, if our realities are aligned, you're gonna see a paint smear at the bottom of the tower you're leaving. What did I say? Odds I fly?
No, it was.
No, I
evens
said
fly,
evens I
odds
fly.
You go with the ground.
Evens I fly. Okay. That's a 15.
Okay. All right.
So we're
You're
trying
rolling
the
some
ground.
damage. Can you describe what comes over Sephel with this, like, either it was like, all I can picture is like, because you're like, it's a 50-50 chance, is like Sephel isn't sure and makes this decision in the air, or was it the moment he leapt from the tower that he was like,
No.
I'm just gonna let it take me?
No, the 50-50 was with Sephel as well, and I think the issue is the only way he's ever overcome a problem is by overanalyzing, taking the truths that he knows, and even when he knows he's making a bad choice, it's rooted in some sort of logic that he can attach to something real. He has no floor anymore. There's no foundation. He can't trust anything. He can't trust anyone. If this reality is true, it has broken from any level of salvageability. Because the other thing he's thinking is, like, we get out of this, we need to do the ritual. Sekarak was our only hope to do that we could trust. So either this is fake or we're fucked either way. And I think in the midst of the falling, there is a callback. You know, I think he looks up and sees the plasma blast from Vlad in the window of the tower growing smaller and smaller and smaller, and he blinks and he sees the paper thin slit of a bridge over a chasm. And he just remembers that moment of clarity and quiet peace. And he accepts it.
Okay. Let's roll some damage. You take 67 points
Oof.
bludgeoning damage.
That's a healthy meatball right there.
Are you unconscious? Or are you still alive?
Dude, that was only like half my HP. That
Okay,
was way lower than I was expecting.
So this huge contemplation comes through your mind. You're like, yes, peace. And then you hit the ground. Craters. There's a little bit of dust everywhere. There's definitely blood. And then you get the fuck up because you're still alive. Granted, you probably have
reality.
you probably got some shit broken, but like a myconid comes up to you and is like, bursts their little spores, and they're like, "Are you good? Is it dead?" Oh no! Shit! He's moving! It's moving!
He's just gonna fucking lay there. He's probably like... I mean, he might not be dead. He probably, like, can't feel anything right now.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a few minutes.
So he's just gonna lay there and come to contemplate that this might be real and that things might be fucked.
Okay. Let's jump over to Scylla. Scylla, the last we saw you, your mind had gone through a couple of mind-shattering moments with this this deceased girl laying next to you and both torturing and comforting you while your father has been screaming things at you, and you were repeating to yourself, you were rocking to yourself on these moments, and this has continued on for a while. I think beyond the point where you eventually realize that things have grown quiet again. What are you doing now?
I mean, how long has it been at this point? Because I'm kind of thinking, like, you know, if it's gotten quiet, Scylla will probably like stand and start to pace her cell. Because as much as she is kind of like, you know, I will accept my fate for the things that I have done. She's also like, she's not an inactive person. Like, I think as she's like, things have gotten quieter, she's just kind of like, let's get the show on the road.
Okay. It's hard for you to be able to tell time because
Underdark.
Seemingly everything doesn't change.
Right.
But definitely long enough that you feel like you can feel yourself growing hungry. Like you are hungry now. Your normal bodily needs are starting to like kick up, and you're like, okay, it's definitely been a while now.
Yeah. If Scylla turns and looks down the row of cells, does she see Indigo and Sephel?
You push your face to the bars and you look down that way and you don't see them. But you also haven't called out to them.
Yeah.
You know that you were the farthest cell down, the closest to you being Sephel's cell, 2 down on what would be your right. And then Indigo's was the first cell on that right, so he's down 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, Scylla's just kind of waiting for something to come to her. She will push her face to the cell and call out, Indigo, Sephel.
You don't hear a response.
Then she will probably she'll yell louder. Indigo, Sephel, and at
Nothing.
the silence, now I think she's also starting to question, like, okay, I really need to... Yes, I am fully prepared to atone whatever I've done, but I think she's getting to this point of, like, I can't forget about the people around me. If she will continue to yell again, but this time it's going to be, is there a guard out there? Hello?
A few moments pass, but eventually you hear like the rattling of a key in the door, and eventually that main door opens up, and you see a kobold guard step in and go, "What's all the hollering for?"
I am prepared to accept the consequences of my actions. However, are you able to inform me of the health and welfare of Sephel and Indigo?
Hard fucking question. He immediately looks to his left and he goes, "Yeah, the hobgoblin's sleeping right there." And then he walks up a couple cells and he looks in and he goes, "Hey. Hey. Is this some kind of fucking trick?" And he's looking down at you and he goes, "Where the hell he go? You tell me right now, where'd he go?"
Fuck.
I am asking you
damn it.
where he is. So if I was involved, I would not ask. But it sounds as though you have lost him.
We don't lose anybody, they get out. And he runs down and he like rattles your door to like make sure it's still locked, to which it is.
Mhm.
He actually like takes his sword out so he doesn't get close to you because you're close to the bars, and he like pushes on the door because he doesn't want you to grab him. He's like, "All right, you don't try anything funny." And then he runs back down and he tries Sephel's door, to which it's locked. And then he goes and tries Indigo's, and it opens. And then he goes in, and you can just hear him like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he immediately runs out, like rips open the main door again, and then starts sprinting up the stairs. He doesn't even shut the door behind him. And it just like slowly, like half closes behind him.
Scylla is going to cock her head and listen for him to leave. And then
Yeah,
she's
you can hear his steps receding, and you can even hear it like echoing down from the cathedral up above.
And I can see down the hall.
Yeah.
She's going to misty step out of her cell.
You pop out of your cell.
She stands in the hall. She peeks into Sephel, confirms he's not in there, right?
Mm-hmm. There's no signs of him.
And then she's going to walk to Indigo's cell, which is unlocked. He said that. And she's going to walk in and shake him. Indigo, are you all right? And she like shakes him pretty roughly.
You go to touch him, and your hand passes through, and then the image of him dissipates. "I was never here. I am a lie."
She definitely like pauses, but then very quickly she's going to shut her cell door and try to stealth her way up the hallway through the door that the guy left open.
Okay, so you go back. Your door wasn't open. You misty stepped out.
Oh, you're right. My bad. So I don't even have to do that. She's just gonna stealth out.
Okay. Go ahead and roll stealth for me.
Okay. Scylla has a +2. Dirty 20. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. All right. You pop open, or you slip behind the door, and immediately to your right are steps that ascend upwards. You think it's about a 20-foot climb. You just see it opens up into what looks like I'm going to describe this as you're like continuously moving. You tell me if you want to stop or do something different.
Yeah, good.
So you move up into this hallway, and from your view, about 60 feet out ahead, you can see what looks like is the right word pulpit? Or is altar more correctly, where like a minister would stand and give their sermon? What's the word I'm looking for?
If it's like the place where like the main stage is the altar, but if you have like a little like platform where like they speak from, that is the pulpit.
Okay, I'm thinking pulpit. There is like thank you, Andrew. There's like an altar area, but you can see it goes up to this magnificent like relief of this beautiful. An awe-inspiring dragon sculpture, and then you can see the pulpit a little bit off to the side of that, where clearly someone would stand. And as you get closer to the end of this, you can see what are like the beginning of pews. You can see stained glass with a little bit of prismatic light shining through. You can begin to see like the vaulted ceilings. You can hear the echo of that same guardsman.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that he's taken off down towards the what we would consider the main entrance. That's where Indigo was originally found. And straight across from you, about 120 feet away, on the other side, beyond the pulpit and stuff, is you can see another entrance that leads into this cathedral. And you can see, like, you can start to make out what looks like the streets beyond it.
Okay. I think I have to go for what I can see, which is I'm going to try and take that door, and head out into the streets.
Okay. Roll me another stealth, as you can hear more voices starting to echo down the way.
Oof. That's only a 9, but I have inspiration and I think I would like to use it.
Okay. Go for it.
16.
Okay.
Better.
You sprint, padding on your feet as fast as you can go. You still don't have any of your items.
Yeah.
Remember that. So you don't have your clanky armor. You don't have any of your weapons, but you sprint across just to pop, 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 pop of your feet, landing across the stones, and you make your way to the other side. Do you even look down the other way, or are you just straight on running as fast as you can?
She would look to see if where exactly that guy went to, I would assume, inform someone. So she's kind of assuming that he went in the direction of like his superior. So I would look.
Yeah, you look down the way and you see that he is like frantically waving his arms and sputtering. His voice is getting drowned out with some of the other people that are beginning to move into the cathedral.
Yeah.
And because of this, your mind is immediately like, oh, I wonder if this is like a morning service that is about to begin, because you can see guards down on that end. You can actually see Hacklow. He's in more priestly like ornaments and robes now.
Yeah.
And he is talking with this guard. You see one other there. You don't see Torvid or the other guy that had come down before, but they are all talking kind of hushly now. And the people that are beginning to like usher in through the main entrance are being halted for a moment, and you sail on by as fast as you can.
Scylla's going to, because she's wearing what I can only assume looks like beggar's clothing, I would like to try and steal a cloak somewhere very subtly and throw the hood up and try to like blend into the crowd.
Talk to me more about the type of cloak. Are you thinking just anybody's? Are you thinking like you want something of the Talons?
No, I'm thinking like somebody, just like an average person going about their day, standard neutral color, doesn't stick out at all.
This immediately makes me think of the scene from Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes, where he's following.
He puts on a fake nose and like.
Yeah, he's just like going through the circus, tossing on stuff.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll me sleight of hand, please. This is not a roll we often do.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Okay.
Not great.
That's all right. You don't manage to grab a cloak immediately. Some people are giving you odd looks. But if we're looking at the map here, on Roll20, you immediately get into these buildings beyond kind of to what would be to the southeast a little bit on the map. And you start slipping into alleyways. And remember I talked about, like, with more and more of the refugees, there's a lot of temperamental housing, there's tents. You're able to, like, grab from some clotheslines what looks like an old cloak. You see, like, a pair of pants. You see a different style tunic. The roll is more of, like, you don't get a ton, and not all of them are well fitting, but it's enough to cover your most
Prison
notable
garb.
like Triton features.
Okay.
So what's your next move?
Scylla is going to start heading for Sekarak's tower. I mean, that's her instinct for sure. Although, actually, Sue is closer.
Okay.
Best bud.
But Sue's also with Beatrice, and she's a wild card. Yeah, I think tower. She goes tower.
I love how you guys are fucking terrified of Beatrice because of
She's
everything
a hag.
that's gone
We
down.
know it, okay? We have said it from day one. Beatrice is a hag.
She's going to teach that child hate, and it will be the next big bad.
Exactly. She hates us.
Let me show you how to lay the hate, child.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, every villain that wasn't actually evil, they just had a family member be like, that's the enemy.
Yeah.
Like, they killed your father kind of shit.
She became the Joker.
Yeah, that's gonna be Starcaller's kid.
Yeah,
so,
he's good.
So you are the origin story. I see. I see.
We're all NPCs in the next campaign.
Yeah, it's just all about Beatrice.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you start immediately making your way for the tower. Slipping through.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have a new thought, let me know.
I'm thinking that Scylla's thinking, like, Sephel isn't in prison, and neither is Indigo. Her only best guess is that they either made it out and found safety, or she needs to find them, and she knows that Sekarak has spells that might be able to help her locate them. So she just thinks of it as kind of like a safe spot.
Okay. Yeah, so you start immediately making your way there. Indigo.
The beans. So
You find yourself waking up with two particular sensations. One is that your wrists and ankles feel very cold compared to the rest of you.
What have you been doing?
Whose sex dungeon did you end up in?
Yeah, what?
Mind your business.
He went to Vegas, and this is what happens.
No, we're gonna share. Why do you get to have fun?
Yeah.
Wow. So
what's going on between me and Froz is not your business.
Yeah, exactly. You wake up, you feel this coldness around your ankles and your wrists, and they also feel heavy. You feel like you're in something of a sitting position, like you're leaned against something. The other thing is like, you know when you stand up too quick and like your vision goes white and it's a little bit blurry for like a few moments? You're feeling that, but it's very prolonged. Like your vision is very blurred. Your senses are very muffled. Like you can't hear too much except for like the pumping of your own blood in your ears. And it's very dark. I know you have dark vision, but like even in the gray scale, things are dark here.
Oh man. Can I move at all?
You begin to move. Do you try to like stand? Do you just try to right yourself? What are you thinking here?
I'm gonna try to feel my wrists and ankles and try to stand up.
Okay. You start to move your ankles and your wrists, and you begin to stand up, and you hear this like clanking noise, and you don't even get into a full crouching position when you feel yourself get tugged back. And through your blurred vision and like the ringing in your ears, it becomes clear that like you are manacled, you are chained, and you can feel like cold stone against your back.
That's not so good. Are there any sources of light around me?
No. Actually, make me a perception check.
Sure. That is a 26.
Okay. In this gray black gloom, how far does your dark vision go? Like 120 feet?
Yeah, 120 feet, I believe that's right.
Okay. And as your senses begin to clear, can I actually have, just so we don't meta here, can I have Sam and Brendan take their headphones off, and I'll give you guys a heads up here in a moment?
I would be honored.
Okay. So now that it's just us, how do you want to kill him? No, I'm just kidding.
Give me torture.
You see about 20 feet ahead of you is what looks like a dark square pool of water. And then you see a vaulted ceiling of sorts. And it doesn't go up too high, maybe 25 feet. And then far, far to your right, probably about 60, 65 feet, you see what looks like a tunnel of sorts near the water's edge. And there's like an iron grate in front of it. And through that, you can see like just these lighter hues of gray seemingly dancing on the water through there. And then everywhere else around you, you see barrels and like building supplies. And that's all you see in here currently.
I know I'm a newcomer to the kingdom, but I haven't seen it anywhere like this before. Does it look similar in construction? Is even the rock the same?
Ooh. Roll me a nature check to discern the rock type to see if it gives you any clues.
Fair. Alright, that's an 11 on rocks.
Okay. The darkness isn't helping you tremendously. You like look behind you, you feel the stone. It's a little bit rougher, but it definitely has more of like a polished, worked feel. And as you're running your hands on it, you think it's perhaps some type of like igneous rock. You maybe think like granite, perhaps, of some kind. And that's all that comes to you there. You would think in like the years of travel that you have done, this looks oddly like a combination between a basement and like a boat dock. You are on this like pathway that goes off to the left about 25 feet, and then that same kind of path goes up along the wall for about another 20 feet, and then it continues down the other far wall until it meets that cistern. And then on the same side that you're sitting on, it continues on before it hits that other wall. You can't see like what's in between you just because there's boxes and stuff around you, but that's what you're putting together. You're like, this is either the weirdest fucking basement I've ever seen, because like this is clearly some kind of pool of water, but nothing big can get in here.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like a basement. There's storage here, odd building supplies and other things, but otherwise you're not hugely sure.
Can I? So, am I like tied to the wall here, or is it like tied to the floor?
Yeah, your chains, your manacles are attached to chains that go to the back wall behind you.
Okay. Interesting. Can I get to any of the boxes, or they're probably a little ways off?
No, like you could touch a couple on your left-hand side, but they are like at the limits of your reach.
Mm-hmm. Do I feel rested at all here, Will? Or am I coming out of a long rest state, or am I still in some sort of like fuguish state?
Your senses are definitely coming back to you. Your head hurts like you've just come. I can't remember if you experience migraines or not, but it's almost like you're just getting over a horrible headache, like the pounding, or like a hangover, like that kind of pounding sensation, that kind of sickly feeling. It's there. Bodily though, you look fine. So in terms of like your stat sheet and stuff like that, you have full health.
Okay. It's better than being beaten to death by beans. I like that.
We do love that.
I think something like definitely ships in Indigo. He was just in a version of this reality where he had been this way for 50 years, and all of a sudden things are starkly different. I think that casts kind of a light on like, oh, like something is different. I need to understand. I need to be sharper. If I have regained a 5th level spell slot, I would like to use it to cast Greater Restoration on myself.
Okay. Does that require any material components?
Beans, you're right.
Because that's I should have clarified that before. Like,
yeah, I'm still naked.
You're still naked. Like, you don't know where your belongings are.
No, that makes sense. That's right. I forgot about material components.
I know, we were like, oh, we're gonna be so good, and then that went away. But just for the sake of this moment, you know.
No, it makes perfect sense. I'm just like, Indigo's skill set is very support heavy, so I don't have a lot of breaking things spells. I can mend super well, not so much on the other side of things. I am gonna see though, is there any way that I can actually shit, of course, I would like to bump out my spectral astral arms.
Okay. Yep, you do.
And then I would like to try to use them to pull on the chains that are anchoring me to the wall.
And this is, you can use your wisdom to like do strength checks and stuff. Yeah, go for it. Roll an athletics check.
That is athletics, not good. So that is a 21.
Okay. You manage to rip one of the links holding one of your regular arms out.
Hell yeah. With that, I'm going to try to get close to one of those crates if I get like a little bit of like separation.
Yeah, you've definitely got a little bit more reach. Do you tear any of the others out, or are you just like, now that you've got one hand, you're...
No, if I can pull the other ones, I absolutely will.
Okay. Roll me 3 more.
All right. 11, 17, and 24.
The 24 does it. And let's say you had freed your right arm and right leg. So now you've got definitely more reach. You can certainly reach the boxes on your left-hand side. But your left arm and leg are still not free yet.
Okay.
DC 20. I don't know if you want to quickly try to break those now, or if you want.
Yeah, I'll take another quick go at it, and then if not, I'll look around for some supplies here. Is there any way I can get leverage with, like the chains and kind of like pulled down?
They're not necessarily higher on the wall. The lengths were a little bit different, but now that you're standing, you can definitely put your body weight in, so I'll let you roll with advantage.
Oh, yeah. All right, that will make a difference. That's 23.
Okay. Left leg breaks free.
And that's an 18.
Okay, give me one more roll.
That's right. That's a nat 20, baby.
Nice. Okay. You are fully free. The manacles are still attached to you, but the chain links have broken. And now you're free to move about the space.
All right, I want to move. I feel like Indigo is like just drawn. Like he sees that cistern, and something within him is just telling him like that is where the answer is. But the Wandering Abbey, it indoctrinates you to be quite thorough. So he's going to take a look at at least one of the crates on his way over, just to see what kind of operation he might be finding himself in the midst of. See if there's any clues in there. So he's going to probably, if there's a crowbar around, or just use the astral arms to kind of like peek one of those crates open to see what's inside.
Sure. You start tearing into some of the boxes, and you find bundles of nails. You see bundles of cloth. In one, you find what looks like tools, like saws, hammers, measuring implements. You see in another one what looks like bundles of rope. You see like metal piping of various supports. You see chisels. And as you're like looking around, you're pretty sure that like everything here is purely construction based.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that you find is in a couple other spots along the walls as you're moving between is you see 3 other like open spaces where you see some manacles.
Ooh, is there anybody tied up over there?
Nope.
Okay. All right, and I feel like maybe I should have asked this before now, but here we are. Am I entirely alone here?
You are.
I would like to approach the cistern. I want to see what's going on in that water.
Okay. You move over towards like the edge of the stone pathway, and you would have to like get into the water to really be able to see through, because there's that grating there by the cistern. Do you jump in, or
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cast Death Ward on myself at 4th level, and then I'm gonna stick my head where I don't belong.
Very fair. Okay, yeah, you jump in, you cast Death Ward, it's very cold, and as you're underwater, you can see that it's this very large opening, probably about 10 feet across in diameter, and through this grate, as like you come up through, you can see the cistern continues out for probably 15-20 feet, and then you see it opens up to what looks like running water. And beyond that, you can see buildings of the Kingdom of Emter.
So it looked like the kingdom's underwater?
Doesn't look like the kingdom's underwater. Like your head is above the water.
Yeah.
So from like your level out, it's like water is slowly coming in, and you can feel like this slight pull back and forth around you as it's going out, and you think that this must be some section of the main river running through the Kingdom of Emter.
Is there enough space with this grating for me to hop in, or
It's definitely too narrow for like you to squeeze your shoulders through unless you have some means of changing your form.
Not in this lifetime, but it's good to know I'm still home here. Or new home, I suppose. But there's a pathway moving forward, yes? Or was there an exit that I see? Or
You turn around in the water, and when you were originally shackled to the wall to the right, you couldn't see what was going on in that corner. So now, like, you turn around and it's immediately where you're facing. So you've kind of done like a 180. Mm-hmm. You see that in that same corner is what looks like stairs that go up.
I'm going to use my another 4th level slot to cast Greater Invisibility, and then I'm going to take a little sneaky trip upstairs.
Okay. You climb up out of the water. You start making your way up those stairs. And as you do, you come to a very large, ornate wooden iron door. No window, but you do see that it has a knob and a lock.
Is it locked?
It is locked.
Can I go back down and look for any of the... Can I use like any like nails or other supplies to make kind of like an impromptu thieves tool?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, we'll say you go down there, you gather it up. Are you proficient with those?
I am. I do have
okay.
Tool proficiency.
I will say because you're proficient, you get the full bonus out of this makeshift set.
All right. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that is only a 15.
Yep. That doesn't do it, but you can feel things kind of giving way there.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything... Do I have any, like, view out into the area around? Or can I hear anything coming through the door?
Make a perception check.
Back in my wheelhouse. 21.
You put your ear to the door, and it's muffled, but the main reason you feel you can hear it is because it's very loud, and you hear banging and stomping and what sounds like yells and cries. Doesn't sound like combat, but it's not dissimilar. But that's all you hear.
Alright, then if I can't get out that way, at least right now, I'm going to go back down and make a more thorough inspection of... I'm going to take a look at where I was before and the other manacled areas to see if there's any things that have been left behind around there.
Roll me investigation.
But a 10.
Okay. Besides your own wet footprints, you don't see, like, there's not enough dust here for you to pick up on anybody's tracks or signs that somebody else has necessarily been here, which gives you the clue that everything that's here has been here relatively recently. Not a lot of this stuff is old. But you don't see the signs of anybody having come or gone.
Well, when was I gonna get my lunch? Yeesh. What's the guy gonna do?
So if there's all these building supplies and whatnot around, are there any like crowbars or other kind of like moving equipment kind of things?
Yeah, you definitely find a pair of crowbars. You see like a dolly, but that's all you find for a lot of moving.
Okay, I would like to get some crowbars and attempt to, well, maybe, well, what I want to do is attempt to pry the grate over the water, so that I might be able to squeeze through.
Oh, okay, so you want to like bend it. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah. So I'm thinking like if I can get some leverage and maybe use that astral strength again, I might be able to just like bend it just enough to get through.
Okay. Are you doing this with your spectral arms, or are you doing this
Yes,
on your own?
My special arms, I can pop them out for 10 minutes. So I would hope I could still use them now to try to like leverage. So
Yeah.
I have like a bar in both real hands and in both spectral hands, and they're all
Okay.
braced against each other and like pressing down.
Okay. I will say with the crowbars, I'll give you the choice. You can have an additional +5, or you can have advantage on the check.
I will take the advantage.
Okay.
Pretty good. With these spectral arms and the advantage, that is a 22.
Okay. Yeah, you begin to feel one of the bars begin to bend a bit. The other thing you feel is that this is going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's get some of the others back in here. All right. Thank you guys for bearing with me and doing that. It just adds more fun to the mystery here. Let's go to Lara. Lara, you are now soaring over the city. The last time we saw you, a number of what looked like Platinum Talon and City Guard were running towards the tower due to the various cries from Vlad.
Yeah, Lara, Vlad, she doesn't know Vlad very well, and he was kind of making her think that he was going to believe the Platinum Talon over her. And she knows, like, she doesn't have time for that. So,
I got time for that.
Yeah, she flew out the window. She needs to, Lara's going to find a spot. She needs an hour to get her genie bottle back.
Okay.
Because without it, she can't cast spells with material components. So she needs to at least take an hour to do that. She can short rest at the same time that she does it, so I'll do that.
Okay. Where do you think you try to sequester yourself to give yourself this hour?
I'm kind of thinking that she's going to fly to, like, the edge of the city of Ember and look for, like, some kind of platform against the wall of this, like, because the city of Ember is essentially, like, a big hole, right? Like, it's surrounded on all sides.
Yeah, it's one absolutely massive cavern. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking she's going to go to the wall surrounding everything and just try to find a spot that gives her a little bit of a nook to, like, get into and hide out in for, like, an hour.
Okay. Let's see here. Roll me... this is more for the flavor end. Roll me an investigation check, please.
Yeah, for sure. That is a 10.
Okay. You, considering your past life, you have been a military personnel. You've been in situations like this before. Everything with Grozit. I will say that you actually think perhaps one of the best things you could do would either to find yourself a section on one of the very tall stalagmites around one of the various sections of the city, or to even find yourself maybe something along the tall cavern wall by the back of Coalfire Keep.
Yeah.
Very far away from prying eyes.
Yeah, I think that she would do that behind Coalfire Keep.
Okay. So you begin flying and circling your way behind. You actually see the top of Coalfire Keep, and roll me a perception check as you're flying by.
Sure. It's only a 5.
Okay. That's enough for you to notice that there's nobody on the ramparts.
Okay.
But you continue to fly along the walls, and eventually you find like enough ledge spacing, natural ledge, that you can land and rest up for an hour if you'd like.
Yeah, so in that hour, she's taking a short rest, and she's essentially conjuring the genie bottle back, and she'll slip it onto the leather loop that she keeps around her neck.
Okay. All right, great. So you settle down for a rest then. Let's quickly jump to Sephel then. Sephel, you're pretty hurt, man.
Sure am.
You got a lot of myconids running around like, oh my god, are you okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. Is that a bone coming out of your side? I don't know what a bone is. I don't know. There's like
we don't have those.
Yeah. I'm squishy.
So while Sephel, took probably like 5-10 minutes just sitting in his crater, feeling back in his limbs. I think, yeah, he probably had to like pop a shoulder bone back under the skin.
You're looking like Deadpool getting off of the broken car.
Yeah, just pop everything back into place, reattach things. I think he has this moment of clarity where it's just, if I can't break out of this, then this is reality, whether it is or not. So he has to start acting like it is.
Okay.
So we're gonna bury the fact that his friend is dead. We're just gonna push that deep down.
As a healthy person does.
Yeah, well, you know, Sephel's had a life.
Yeah.
I'm going to non-ritually cast Identify on Sekarak's staff, just to see if there's anything special about it, or you know, I guess to flavorfully try to get a hint. Like, I just took another mage's staff. Let's get acquainted with this so I can use it properly.
Okay. You cast Identify on this staff.
Yeah.
And you don't get anything.
Okay.
Like, you don't even register that it's a fucking stick or a staff. Like, there's just nothing.
The stick's alive, man.
That is the truest thing that Sephel has found. Okay. I'm going to...
The gears are turning.
Okay.
And hey, guess what, guys? We'll see you next time.
Fuck you!
Hey, Brendan,
Fuck you so much.
it sounds like you have a problem. A problem that can only be solved by Magione Pest Control.
Yeah, our DM's getting a little too comfortable in his ivory tower.
Knock, knock, knock. Anyway, oh my crazy kids, here, pop on down to the Discord where you can tell Will where to put it. And if that's not quite enough, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, and all the other shenanigans on whatever social medias are available in your state or territory. Anyway, we hope you're having a great day. And remember, give me your money. No, I'm sorry. I mean, you could give me your money if you wanted to. You could do so by going to Coffee, KOFI, or Patreon. That's where the money's at. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. Pass around the good news about this podcast. Share it with somebody. Again, except for the FBI, because they already subscribed. They're actually currently propping us up. This is a PSYOP. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll see you when the madness continues.